TE and wait. Modes in TE as well as in TM. Then finally we have concluded what is the dominant mode in case of TE, that is TE10, and this is true only when A is greater than B, and then dominant mode in case of TM is TM11. Okay, then today we'll see the next topic. What is degenerate mode? Okay, what is degenerate mode? In case of waveguide, what is degenerate mode? Okay, the mode which is having same cutoff frequency is called as degenerate mode. Okay, the modes which are having same cutoff frequency. If two different modes are having same cutoff frequency, then those modes are called degenerate modes. Okay, if different modes are having same cutoff frequencies, different modes are having same cutoff frequencies, then those modes are called degenerate modes. Okay, so and it is very clear. Say for example, you can take this. Say, suppose if you calculate the cutoff frequency for T11 and also TM11, definitely there is no distinction. Definitely you will get the same cutoff frequency, because we have not written any separate formula for T or TM. Just in common manner only we have written the cutoff frequency formula. So definitely it has to be same. And similarly for other modes, say for example T21, comma TM21. So these are all the modes which are having same cutoff frequency. So these modes are called degenerate mode. The mode T11, TM11 is called degenerate mode, and then another pair is T21 and TM21 is called as degenerate modes. Okay, then what is cutoff number? Okay, cutoff number is called as K. Okay, KC, cutoff number. The formula for cutoff number is cutoff number, or sometimes it's called as cutoff wave number. Okay, wave number or cutoff wave number. So that is Kc is equal to that is decided by the mode as well as the dimensions of the waveguide. So it is simply m pi by a whole square and n pi by b whole square overall square root. This is called as cutoff wave number. Then next we will see what is phase velocity and what is group velocity. What is phase velocity and what is group velocity? Okay. First one is phase velocity. Phase velocity is the velocity at which the phase is getting changed. Okay, it is not about the signal, but it is about the phase of the signal. Okay, we are not telling how fast the signal is changing, but we are telling here how fast the phase of the signal is changing. So what is phase velocity? It is the velocity with which the phase rate changes. It is the velocity with which phase rate changes. Okay, so again, by definition, the phase velocity is equal to simply omega divided by beta. Omega, you can keep it as same. Then you know what is beta. What is beta? Beta can be written as like this, omega square. In case of waveguide, beta can be written as like this, omega square mu epsilon m pi by a whole square, then n pi by b whole square. You can write like this. Okay, beta you can write like this, and also the square root comes. Okay, then from this, if you take that omega square mu epsilon outside, okay, so you'll get omega square root of mu epsilon, then 1 minus 1 by omega square mu epsilon, okay, mu epsilon m pi by a whole square n pi by b whole square. Then this is one term finally. Okay, then overall the square root will come here. Okay, then it's very clear this omega can cancel. Okay, simply you are getting 1 by mu epsilon. Okay, 1 by mu epsilon. Then if you concentrate, okay, you forget about omega square here, then you concentrate about the remaining part. This is something is equal to omega c square. You know what is omega c? Already there is omega c is there. You just refer what is omega c. Okay, you just refer what is omega c right now. That also, you know, omega c is simply 1 divided by mu epsilon 1 divided by mu epsilon. Okay, 1 divided by mu epsilon m pi by a whole square and n pi by b whole square, n pi by b whole square overall square root. I think omega c is equal to this one. Okay, so again here in square root is not there. Okay, here square root is not there, but and then remaining factors are there, and I think we have made a mistake here. Here I think square root will not come. This we have made a mistake. Yes, simply this is mu epsilon only. Okay, omega square mu epsilon. Okay, if you take neglecting this omega square, if you concentrate on this part, that is something is equal to omega c square. So I can replace this term with the omega c square. Okay, so 1 divided by mu epsilon 1 minus omega c divided by omega square overall square root. And you know that 1 by mu epsilon can be written as c divided by mu r epsilon r, and then this term you can again simplify. This can also be written as 1 minus fc divided by f whole square overall square root. And you know that whenever you are in a free space, okay, if the medium is of free space, mu r is equal to 1, then epsilon r is equal to 1, then finally what is the phase velocity? The phase velocity is equal to something like this, 1 minus fc divided by f whole square overall square. This is the formula that you should remember always. Okay, without any confusion, you have to remember this. If at all they are giving any medium properties epsilon r, that you have to introduce in the denominator. That's it. Okay, your velocity will change. That's it. Once if you introduce in the denominator, your velocity will change. That's it. Okay, so again, so the phase velocity is equal to the velocity of the light in free space divided by some factor. From this, it is very clear. See this f is means operating frequency. Sorry, what is f? Always operating frequency. In general, the operating frequency is greater than fc only. In general, the operating frequency is greater than fc only. Then only the wave can propagate inside the waveguide. Once if f is greater than fc, really this value will be less than 1. 1 minus less than 1 is always some positive quantity, but it is of less than 1. So if you are having some value in the denominator as less than 1, definitely you are, once if the condition is satisfied, definitely your phase velocity will be greater than the velocity of the light in free space, because the entire denominator is giving you the value that is less than 1. 1 divided by less than 1 is always greater than 1. That's why finally v phase velocity is greater than the velocity of the light in free space. Okay, this is something strange, because you know that in a earth, the nothing can move at a rate greater than c, because c is the velocity of light in free space. Okay, whatever the component that is there, okay, that has to move with the velocity less than c only. Okay, but in this case it is looking something greater than c. Okay, the phase velocity is greater than the velocity of the light in free space. Okay, so phase velocity is greater than the velocity of light in free space. Then we have to analyze whether really your signal is going at this speed. Your signal is not going at this speed because this is not the signal speed. This is the speed of the phase of the signal only. Okay, it is not the speed of the signal. It is the speed of the phase of the signal. It is the speed of the phase of the signal. Okay, so you have to be very clear about it. So what is this meaning of this one actually? See, say for example, the next page. See, the analogy for this one is, okay, say for example, you are having, you know, this ones are the, I think in English, I don't know, I think earthworm, something like that. Manpuru is there, you know, all of you. Manpuru. பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? Okay. மண்புழு பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா எல்லாரும்? புழு. மண். Yes. Give me some answer. Yes.
Yes, sir.
ஓகே, அது பாத்தீங்கன்னா மண்புழு வந்து ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்து இன்னொரு இடத்துக்கு மூவ் பண்ணும்போது ஆக்சுவலி இட் வில் கோ வித் லோ வெலாசிட்டி ஒன்லி. With low velocity only it will move from one place to another. But if you see that variation of its bodies, okay, that will be very, very high. At what rate it varies its body, it's okay, that will be very, very high. But actually it will be going with a low velocity. கவனிச்சிருக்கீங்களா? அதனுடைய உடம்பு வந்து அது சேஞ்ச் பண்றது வந்து ரொம்ப ஃபாஸ்டா சேஞ்ச் பண்ணும். பட் ரியலி இட் வில் பி கோயிங் இன் a slow manner only from one place to another. Really it will be going in the slow manner only, but the body will be moving at very faster rate. Okay, that is something, the body that is moving with very faster rate, that is something related with the phase velocity. Okay, phase velocity. Okay, its body is moving at a faster rate. It doesn't mean that it is going at a faster velocity. It doesn't mean that it is going at a faster velocity. That's why phase velocity is greater than the velocity of the light in free space. It doesn't mean that it is going with that velocity. Okay, it means what? Its phase of the signal is changing at that speed. That's it. Okay, see, phase is changing at that speed, but it is not a true signal speed. Okay, it is not a true signal speed. It is not a true signal speed. That will be denoted by some other quantity. Okay, true signal speed will be denoted by some other quantity. So it is not a true signal speed. Okay, so it is actually giving the speed of the phase of the signal. It is giving the speed of the phase of the signal. Speed of the phase of the signal. Okay. Okay, don't think that whenever a phase velocity is more than velocity of the light in free space, then the signal is not moving at that velocity. Only phase is changing at that velocity. The signal actually will be moving with some other velocity that will be denoted by the group velocity Vg. That will be denoted by the group velocity Vg. Okay, so okay, so what is our conclusion now here? When f is greater than fc, phase velocity is greater than c. So inside the wave, phase velocity is greater than the velocity of the light in this free space. Okay, inside the waveguide. Okay, inside the waveguide. What is the conclusion? Inside the waveguide, phase velocity is greater than velocity of light in free space. Velocity of light in free space. Okay, velocity of light in free space. Okay, this is the idea for phase velocity. Next, we will see the group velocity. Okay, group velocity. First of all, you have to understand these meanings, or what is group velocity. The name itself, group, is there. Group means it is the combination of frequency. Only the combination of frequency only can carry the energy from transmitter to the receiver end. Okay, the combination of frequency is called as signal. Okay, it is really giving you the speed of the signal. Okay, group means what? Combination of frequency. Combination of frequency only. See, I am mentioning f is greater than fc. Really, I do not know how much frequency I'm having. Say, for example, if my FC is, say, for example, if my FC is 1 gigahertz, then what is the meaning of this one? My frequency can be 1.1 megahertz or 1.2 megahertz or 1.3 megahertz, sorry, 1.3 gigahertz, and so on. I may have a lot of frequencies. I may have lot of frequencies. Okay, so the grouping of frequencies, the group of frequencies only will carry energy from one place to another place. Then the group of frequencies, at what speed this group of frequency is traveling from transmitter to the receiver end, that is called as group velocity. That is called as, okay, group velocity is something related with the group of frequencies. Only group of frequencies only can carry the energy from one place to another place, one place to another place. So the group velocity is really, it is the velocity with which the group of wave travels. It is the velocity with which the group of wave travels. It is the velocity with which group of wave travels. Once if you see one frequency may go at a faster rate, another frequency, but in general the velocity will reduce actually. Okay, velocity will reduce. Okay, because as a group it is going, so velocity with which the group of wave travels. Okay, and again, what is the significance of this one? It signifies the physical rate of energy transfer along the guide axis. At what rate the energy is getting transmitted. Okay, at what rate the energy is getting transmitted from the source end to the receiver end. Okay, it signifies. Okay, it signifies the physical rate of. It signifies the physical rate of energy transfer along the guide axis. Energy transfer along guide axis. Okay, along the guide axis. Physical rate of energy transfer along the guide axis. Then mathematically this group velocity, okay, see, phase velocity means simply I put omega divided by beta. I have not worried about other frequencies and all, but here I am having group of frequencies. Whenever I have group of frequencies, instead of just ratio of this one, I have to take differentiation. D omega divided by d beta. Then what is the real way to calculate this one? Because you cannot differentiate omega with respect to beta, but you can do one thing. You know what is beta? You can differentiate beta with respect to what, sir? Omega. You know what is beta? You can differentiate with respect to omega. Okay, I am directly writing the answer. I am directly writing the answer. Once if you do the differentiation and all, finally, yes, sir. Anything is wrong?
VG.
Yes, VG, yes, VG, group velocity. Yes. Okay, so finally you will get C divided by mu r epsilon r. That particular term, new term, will come in the numerator instead of in the denominator. That particular term will come in the numerator. Then for free space, what is the group velocity? C into 1 minus fc divided by f whole square over all square. Then from this it is very clear when f is greater than fc, because for the wave to propagate inside the waveguide, f has to be greater than fc, then really my group velocity has to be less than c. Group velocity has to be less than c. This is something okay, because it really gives a physical rate of change of energy, because the energy cannot move at a faster rate than the velocity of the light, but it can move at a lesser rate as compared to the velocity of the light in the free space. Okay, so this is the formula you have to, this is a final conclusion. Okay, again this one is the formula you have to always remember. Okay, but whenever they give the medium properties, then you should know where to introduce it. Not in the numerator, it has to be introduced in the denominator. If they give mu or epsilon r, very rarely they used to give mu or epsilon r, then you have to introduce it appropriately. Okay, this is the group velocity. Okay, then from this phase velocity and group velocity, okay, so what is the significance of this group velocity? The group velocity is less than the velocity of the light in the free space. Group velocity is the velocity. Group velocity is less than less than velocity of light in free space. That's okay, velocity of light, because this group velocity is giving you the real movement, okay, real movement of the energy, okay, velocity of light in free space, in free space. Okay, now I know what is phase velocity. The phase velocity is c divided by 1 minus f divided by fc whole square, and then group velocity is c divided by c into, okay, c into 1 minus f divided by fc whole square overall square root. Once if I multiply phase velocity to group velocity, then I will get what's a c square. I will get c square. This is another relationship that you have to remember. The product of phase velocity and group velocity is always equal to c square, is always equal to c square. Okay. Okay. Next, I will take one note. See then. Suppose if my frequency is less than cutoff frequency, definitely no propagation, no wave propagation. Then exactly what happens if exactly my frequency is equal to fc, f is equal to fc, then really what happens? Or if f is greater than fc, what happens? Okay, see, no propagation, then definitely if f is greater than fc, definitely there will be propagation. Okay, propagation possible. Then exactly at f is equal to fc, what is happening? Okay, see, now in this case, the wave oscillates. Okay, what is happening? Once if you launch the wave inside the waveguide, the wave oscillates between the walls of the waveguide. Okay, it is not propagating, but it is just oscillating. Okay, in first case, it is not carrying the wave at all. Okay, it is not able to support the wave, but in the next case, it just starts supporting the wave oscillates. Then in the third case, it is propagating. It is propagating. So if f is equal to fc, then really the wave oscillates. Okay, then practically if you think of, okay, what will happen when f is equal to fc? When f is equal to fc, say if I am having the waveguide, see, this is my waveguide, two-dimensional only I am showing. The wave is oscillating, then what should be the way? See, if this is my frequency is equal to the cutoff frequency. Once if I launch the signal in such a way, okay, once if my f is equal to fc, what is actually happening? The oscillation is happening. Okay, okay, between the wall, what should be the angle of the wave such that it will oscillate? It has to be like this only. Okay, it has to be 90 degree to the wall. Once if it is 90 degree, what will happen? From down it will go up, from up it will come down. It keeps on oscillating between the walls of the waveguide. It keeps on oscillating between the walls of the waveguide. So now what is the angle? What is the angle when f is equal to fc? At exactly when f is equal to fc, then what is the angle between the wave and walls of the waveguide? It is exactly 90 degree. It is exactly 90 degree, because I am trying to derive this nature, oscillation nature. Once if it has to oscillate, then really my frequency has to be really perpendicular to the walls, Then what happens if my frequency increases? If my frequency is greater than fc, okay, then really the wave propagates. Okay, the wave propagates. Say for example, if f is greater than fc, really the wave propagates. Okay, the wave propagates. If wave has to propagate, say for example, it can go like this, then it will come like this, and it goes like this. But what is the angle? So it is at some angle with the walls. It is at the some angles with the walls. Okay, some angle with the wall. Then what happens? Then I can still increase the frequency. Then what is the relation between the frequency and theta? What is the? See, when f is equal to fc, I was in a perpendicular manner. My theta is 90 degree. My theta is 90 degree. When I keep on increasing f, okay, my theta is decreasing. Okay, what is the conclusion here? When fc is equal to 90 degree, sorry, when f is equal to fc, my theta is 90 degree. When f is greater than fc, my theta reduces. So what is the idea here? As I increase the f, from this, what is the conclusion? When I increase the f, my theta is reducing. When I increase the f, my theta is reducing. Okay, when I increase the f frequency value, my theta will reduce. Okay, that I can denote like this. Say for example, this is the direction of fc, this is the direction of fc, and I am having f1 comma f2, but it is greater than fc. But among f1 and f2 is greater than f1. Okay, I am having two frequency. The two frequencies already greater than the cutoff frequency. Then definitely it will make some angle other than 90 degree. But among the two frequencies, f2 is greater than f1. Then I should know which angle will be greater than which angle. So the frequency. So the first say, you know that one thing you know. Okay, when you increase the frequency, your theta will reduce. Okay, so definitely then if this is f1, then definitely this has to be f2. Definitely this has to be f2. So then if it is theta 1, okay, if the first one is theta 1, then definitely second one is theta 2. You know that here from this observation, theta 2 is less than theta 1. Okay, theta 2 is less than theta 1. Theta 2 is less than theta 1. Then why I am doing all these things? Because there is some relationship. There is some relationship between f operating frequency and cutoff frequency and theta that I have to derive now. Okay, there is some relationship among all. Okay, so from this, okay, I'll go to the next page. Okay, there is some relationship between f, fc and theta. Okay, that I'll derive it now. Suppose if it is case and then this is fc. Okay, this is fc. Then really this is theta. And one thing is very clear: if this is fc, this is also what's our fc only. This is also fc only. This indicates the f at some frequency. Now what is sine theta? Okay, from this, what is sine theta? Sine theta is equal to fc divided by f. Sine theta is equal to what? Fc divided by f. Now what is cos theta? Cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So what is the adjacent side? You know fc, then definitely adjacent side will be f square minus fc square square root. Okay, this is the adjacent side using Pythagoras theorem. Then f square, okay, adjacent side is equal to f square minus fc square square root. Okay, then divided by f, hypotenuse is f. Then once you can take f as a f square root of f square, then you take inside, then this is 1 minus fc divided by f whole square. So in future, what I can do, instead of this term, I can write it as cos theta. In future, instead of this term, I can write it as cos theta. So from this, it is very clear. The phase velocity can be written as c divided by 1 minus fc divided by f whole square square root can be written as what's our cos theta. Similarly, the group velocity can be written as c into cos theta. Similarly, the group velocity can be written as c into cos theta. Now, the phase velocity is equal to c divided by cos theta, and the group velocity is equal to c into cos theta. Somebody tell me what is the range of theta? It is from 0 degree to 90 degree only. What is the range of theta? It is from 0 degree to 90 degree. Once if you go from 0 degree to 90 degree, what will happen? What will happen to the values? The value will go from 1 to 0. Value will go from 1 to 0. Okay, so yes, is it correct? Yeah, it's correct. Okay, so again, value will go from 1 to 0. Then you try to apply different theta. Then you know what is Vp. If value is in between 1 to 0, if you are having less value in the denominator, okay, what I am telling, cos theta value is between 0 to 1 only. Okay, in the denominator, if you are having less value, definitely, what is the idea here? V phase velocity, there is a chance that V phase velocity greater than the velocity of the light in free space. Or otherwise, what will happen here? If cos theta is in between 0 to 1, then there is a chance that because cos theta is in the numerator, then there is a chance that group velocity will be less than C. VG is less than C is possible, because once if you operate in between, okay, if theta is in between 0 to 90 degree, then definitely you are getting the condition, because this is our original condition. Okay, phase velocity has to be greater than C and group velocity has to be less than C. Okay. Okay. So finally, at F is equal to FC, you are making theta is equal to 90 degree angle. Then as you increase the frequency, as frequency increases, okay, angle made with wall decreases. Angle made with wall decreases. Okay, angle made with wall decreases. Okay, so that's it. Then okay. Next, we'll discuss about the guide wavelength. Already we have seen what is guide wavelength. Guide wavelength is the wavelength inside the waveguide. We know the regular formula, but with respect to waveguide frequencies, then we will derive what is guide wavelength. Okay, first GUID, guide wavelength. Okay, voice is breaking or voice is okay now?
Correct, sir.
Yes, anybody? Yes, okay. Now next one is guide wavelength. Okay, guide wavelength is equal is lambda G. Okay, so the beginning, what is phase velocity? We derived phase velocity is equal to omega divided by beta. I have told you beta is measured inside the waveguide. That's why from again you can beta can be written as in terms of lambda also. Okay, 2 pi by lambda G. Then it will give you the guide wavelength. It will give you the guide wavelength. Okay, what is another name for phase velocity? The phase velocity can also be written like this: C divided by 1 minus FC divided by F whole square root. Okay, so again lambda is equal to always C divided by F, but here I am calculating the guide wavelength. Okay, guide, not group. This is guide wavelength. Okay, guide wavelength means what is the velocity inside the waveguide. Okay, velocity inside the waveguide is v phase velocity. Okay, so again, because this is something related with phase constant. Okay, that's why you have to take phase velocity. Okay, guide wavelength is related to the phase velocity, Vp divided by F. In general, lambda is equal to C by F, sir. You are in waveguide. That's why I am using velocity of the waveguide, that is Vp. Okay, then what is Vp? Vp can be written like this. Okay, C divided by F is already there, and then this term 1 minus Fc divided by F whole square over all square root. Okay, what is C by F in general? For lambda is equal to C by F in general. So you can write it as lambda, then 1 minus Fc divided by F whole square over all square root. So finally, what is the guide wavelength? Lambda G is equal to lambda divided by 1 minus Fc divided by F whole square over all square root. This formula you have to remember, very important. Finally, you have to remember this formula. Okay, I will give you some ideas finally how to remember the formula. Sometime you are getting this term in the numerator, sometime in the denominator. That's okay. So now what happens once if you operate at the frequency f greater than fc? From this it is very clear, if f is greater than fc, lambda G is greater than lambda or less than lambda? Anybody? Huh? Is greater than lambda or less than lambda? If f is greater than fc, guide wavelength of the signal oda adhigama irukuma or otherwise kammiya irukuma if f is greater than fc? சொல்லுங்க பாப்போம். lambda G greater than lambda வருமா less than lambda வருமா?
கம்மியா இருக்கும்.
எப்படி